Right. So now students, we are going to explain about the grade 10 lesson, right? Second term. So we are discussing the percentage lesson, the simple interest part. Now in this simple interest part, I'll discuss part 6, that is simple interest questions, right? So more question about the simple interest method, how to simplify, how to solve the C equation. So let's see. Right, now shall we move to another example, students? So in this first example, you can see here, how long will it take person who gave a loan of 20,000 rupees at a simple interest rate of 15% to receive an interest of 12,000 rupees, right? So you can see here, how long will it take a person to give a loan, right? So that means you have to find the period of time. Loan is 20,000 and annual interest rate is given, another one is given, the interest you receive. That means here you should find, to get 12,000 rupees interest, what is the period of time, right? So that is I want to find. So that means, see here, if you found interest for a year, right? So interest for a year, that's can find, and then you can find number of years, right? So using the loan and interest rate, we can find the interest for 1 year. So that means you can see how many interest in the within the 12,000 rupees, right? So let's see the solution, student. Interest for a year, right? Rate is 15%, right? 15%, that means for a 100 rupees loan, you should pay 15 rupees interest, right? So let's we use 15 over 100, right? Reciprocal of this percentage. Then for the 100 rupees loan, you should pay 15 rupees interest. What is the loan number? That is 20,000 rupees. So you should find, for the 20,000 rupees, what is the interest. So this is the interest for a year, right? A year. Then you can simplify this one, students, and you can cut 0 here, right? Another 0 here, 20,000, another 0. Then 200 should multiply by 15, then you get uh, 3,000 rupees, right? So that is the interest for a year. Now you can see, to get 12,000 interest, now you can see here, you can find how many 3,000s are there, right? Because interest for 1 year is 3,000, right? So that is the number of years, right? So see, this interest for 1 year, the number of years mean the total interest, right? Total interest should divide by interest for a year, right? So that means, to get the this amount of interest, you can find how many 3,000s are there, right? So that means total interest is, they have given 12,000 rupees, then interest for 1 year, that is 3,000, right? So if you divide, you get 4, that is mean 4 years, right? So that is the period of time. Okay, now move to another example, student. Second example, you can see here, if the simple interest that has had to pay for 3 years on a loan of 50,000 rupees was 6,000 rupees. So I want to find the annual simple interest rate was charged, right? So here they have given the loan amount, that is 15,000. The interest is for 3 years, that is 6,000, right? So I want to find the interest rate, right? Let's see. Annual interest rate is given, right? So how to find the annual interest rate, student, right? So this is want to find. annual interest rate. So always this interest is calculated on the loan balance. So that means you should find the loan, and you should find what is the interest for this loan, what is the interest for this loan for 1 year, that is the interest for 1 year, right? So that means for this loan amount, if you should pay this amount of interest for 1 year, percentage is rate is multiply by 100%. So if you found those two, interest for year and a loan, then you can find the interest rate, right? So see here they have given interest for 3 years, right? Interest for 3 years is 6,000, right? So that means interest for 3 years is 6,000, right? So you know, in a simple interest method, in every year interest is same. That means for 3 years interest 6,000 mean you can find interest for 1 year, right? So that means 6,000 should divide by 3, right? So that means 2,000 rupees. So that is the interest for 1 year. So that means interest for 1 year is already found. The loan is given there 50,000. So we can put into this formula. Now you get annual interest rate, right? Annual interest rate is interest for, you can substitute here, right? Interest for 1 year is 2,000 and loan is 50,000 rupees, then multiply by 100%, right? So that you can simplify by cutting numerator denominator 0, right? Divide by 10 or 100 or 1000 right there. Then you can cut 0 here, another 0 here, right? Another 0 you can cut with this 2000 0, and there another 0, right? Then that can cut here. So that mean you get, right? That mean you get 5 you can cut by this 20, right? Then you remain 4, right? So interest rate is 4%, right? So that is the annual interest rate. Right, now go to another example, student. This is my third example. So in third example, say how many years after taking a loan of 60,000 rupees at an annual simple interest rate of 5%, does a person have to pay a total amount of 78,000 rupees to settle the loan, right? So here if we write the given data, student, right here, so you can see loan amount is given, right? 60,000. Then the total amount is given, that is 78,000, right? Then want to find the number of years, right? Percentage is also given, right? Now you have an idea what is this total amount, right? Total amount means, student, loan amount and total interest, right? So within this 78,000 loan is there, that means 60,000 is there, and total interest is there, right? So we don't know number of years, right? So we should find this way, right? First you can find the total interest, right? So then loan, and using the rate we can find interest for 1 year, then we can find number of years, right? Let's see, right? So these are the given data. Then total amount, right? So that is loan plus total interest, right? So they have given total amount is 78,000, loan is 60,000, then total interest, right? Now you can see, you can find the total interest, student. Subtract 60,000 from 78,000, right? So then you get total interest is 18,000 rupees, right? So this is the total interest, right? Then we can find using this loan and rate, right? Interest for 1 year, interest for 1 year 5%, that means 500 is we use, right, for the 60,000 rupees. Then you can simplify these zeros like this, right? Then 600 multiplied by 5, that is you get 3,000 rupees, right? So this is the interest for 1 year. This is the total interest. Now you can find how many 3,000s are there, right? So that means number of years, right? So number of years, right, using these two number of years, the total interest, right, should divide by interest for 1 year, right? Total interest 18,000 rupees, interest for 1 year, that is 3,000 rupees, right? So you can simplify this one, that has 6 years. So that is the answer. Okay, now more to students another example, right? So it's a good example. So you can see here example say person takes a loan on annual simple interest rate, on annual interest simple interest, promising to settle the loan in 2 years, right? So settling the loan means student, he should pay the loan and interest, right? Total interest. So he settled the loan in 2 years by paying 5,600. However, he was only able to settle the loan in 5 years, at which time he had to pay 6,500 rupees, right? So you have a better idea about the total amount, student, right? So we have find calculate the interest for, he has to pay 1 year, and amount borrowed, and the simple interest rate, right? Now see here the total amount, right? So early example I told you students, the total amount means loan plus total interest, right? Loan plus total interest. So here you can see 5,600 is the total amount paid within 2 years, right? So that means 5,600 is, right, 5,600 is loan plus total interest. That means interest for 2 years, right? 5,600 means loan plus interest for 2 years, right? So because the person paid, settled the loan in 2 years, right? Then he was only able to pay settle the loan in 5 years, and that time he paid 6,500 total amount, right? So 6,500 total amount means, student, here you can see that also has loan, right? That also has loan and interest for 5 years, right? Interest for 5 years, right? Then I name that equation as a second equation. Right now you can see, student, I have two equation 1 and equation 2. Right now you can see here, here 5,600 mean loan plus interest for 2 years, 6,500 is loan plus interest for 5 years. Now you can see, student, if I subtract this way, see, I subtract first equation, right, from the second equation, right? So what happened if I subtract first equation from the second one? What happened? Right hand side, loan subtract loan, then loan cancel out, then interest for 5 years, if you subtract interest for 3 years, right? So then you can have an idea, it remain interest for 3 years, right? So let's see what happened. All right, so here you can see loan is cancelled out. Right now I write 6,500, want to subtract 5,600, and right hand side, right? So these are cancelled out, right? No need to write that one. Interest for 5 years, you should subtract interest for 2 years, right? So then this amount subtract, you can write 900 rupees. Then interest for 5 years, if you subtract interest for 2 years, you remain interest for 3 years, right? So 900 mean interest for 3 years, right? Now you can see, you can find interest for 1 year. How? This is 3 year interest, this one divide by 3, right? So then you get interest for 1 year is student 300 rupees, right? Interest for 1 year 300 rupees. Now Roman number 1 say calculate the interest he has to pay for a year. For a year is 300 rupees, right? Then move to Roman number 2. What was the amount he borrowed? That means the loan amount, right? So how to find the student? Here you can see in the first equation has loan plus interest for 2 years. What happened? Interest for 1 year is 300. Then you can find here interest for 2 years, right? So then you can find the loan by subtracting interest for 2 years from this 5,600 rupees, right? So that means 5,600 is loan plus interest for 2 years, student, right? So that means 5,600 is loan plus interest for 2 years. You can put 2 times 300, that is 600 rupees, right? So then you subtract, you get loan is 5,000 rupees, right? So that is the loan, right? Then Roman number 3, student, what was the annual simple interest rate charge percentage, right? So early example I told you how to find the annual simple interest rate, right? So that means you need always interest is calculated on the loan, right? You need the loan and interest for 1 year. The percentage mean multiply by 100%, right? Loan is, we know, 5,000 rupees, student. Then interest for 1 year, that is 300 rupees. Then percentage multiply by 100%. Then you can easily simplify these zeros, right? Like this. Another 0 here, another 0 here. Then 30 can divide by 5, that is 6%. That is the annual interest rate. In the coming up next part, student, I will discuss with you the next lesson, right? That is 15th lesson, equations, right? Equations lesson, right? So keep in touch with Maths Globe YouTube channel. You can learn about the equations.